Do you know how to negotiate a higher salary or a raise? Well, today is Black Women's Equal Pay Day, which means it took 8 more months for African American women to earn what a white man in a similar position was paid in 2020. Let that just marinate in your cranium for a little bit. The woman behind the book, Next Move, Best Move, Transitioning into a Career You Love, is here to offer advice to get you more money. Good morning and welcome to our show, Kimberly B. Cummings.
Thank you so much for having me.
This is, we never grow tired of talking about how to get more money. I often quote my fellow Bronxite Cardi B, what is y'all doing with my monies?
Yes.
But I just want to start with this setup. You know, this is no shock to you and no shock to a lot of our viewers, but studies show Black women earn 61 cents for every dollar in comparison with their male white counterparts. It's even less than that for Latina women. So when we go to negotiate for a salary or a change, you say it's time to fight fire with fire. However, keep your feelings out of the process. How do we do that, and how is that going to help us?
One of the biggest pieces of advice I always give is that this conversation is high stakes. You have to go in with a strategy. And that really starts with understanding what is it that you are coming to the workplace with? What are the skills that you are lending this employer during your tenure there? It's not just about knowing that we are underpaid, but it's really about communicating your value and how you are going to get in there and give them the best of yourself during your tenure there. And that you not only know you have to fight fire with fire by getting this salary, but they are lucky to have you because you are going to go in and kill it.
I have to say, being a journalist affords me the opportunity to remove my emotions from something because, as you say, this is high stakes, so it can be very difficult to sort of think of it objectively. But something key that you mention is have a game plan, know what value you offer to your employees, to your boss, and to the people that you work with. How do we do that? Is that literally sitting down and jotting down, okay, this is what I do, this is what I'm required to do, this is how I've helped? I mean, walk us through it.
I call it a career toolkit, very similar to what you just said. Going through your longest version of your resume and understanding what skill you're gaining from each and every job, how that contributes to the value you'll bring. Another way of saying it is, what are your transferable skills? What are you bringing to the workplace each and every day? Each job you have adds another tool to your toolkit that helps you navigate the world of work. It's really understanding what those skills are so you can communicate that in these conversations and throughout your entire interview process.
And once we get to that interview process, how do we not get tongue-tied or nervous when we're asking for more money? I mean, money is a hot button issue. Some of us loathe having to do it even with our spouses. Now we're doing it, you know, some of us are fighting for our lives in our workplace. So what advice do you have for us as we prepare for those types of meetings?
So it starts with having the confidence of knowing your worth in the workplace. When you're talking about your skills, this isn't some pie in the sky theoretical communication of who you are. These are facts. This is the fact of what you bring to the workplace and standing on that. I'm also a big believer in getting your girlfriends to hype you up, getting your husband to hype you up, getting those people who cheer you on as you get into those conversations. And again, it's not just that last conversation, it is the entire process. You start communicating your value the second someone reaches out to you. That is the confirmation that you talk about in that final salary negotiation conversation.
I can co-sign on hanging out with your girlfriends to say, okay, I need you girls to rally around me. I have done that in my personal life. I want to get back to, you know, so you're negotiating for a salary and maybe it's, or a new job. How do you know what that role is worth? In other words, where do you find the information to know how much money you should be asking for? I know I've asked sometimes for money and I went way over the mark, and other times I went way under the mark. So what is the best way to research how much money you should be asking for, and how do we know that that information is accurate?
So you have to benchmark it. I never recommend one particular platform. You could use LinkedIn, Glassdoor, PayScale. figure out what is your title of your role and compare that to other industries. Maybe some roles will call it a manager in this company, another one will be a director in another. Really make sure you understand what is the title across your industry and look at the min and the max and really start to see what the trends are, and then you match that with the value in your experience and really determine like where do you come in based upon your value and experience. And that's the number in a range that you quote with that employer. But you always give that caveat. In the beginning, recruiters generally ask you, what are you looking for? Give the caveat that as you learn about the role through the interview process, you will really know how much that role is worth.
Interesting. So right then and there, when you're in the interview, it forces the person interviewing you to give you more information so that you can do the mental gymnastics to then say, okay, maybe I'll add a 0 or I'll add, something else. You are smart, Kimberly B. Cummings. We have mentioned a lot of things in this, but what is your number one tip about salary negotiation? If you could just give us one, what would it be?
Practice, practice, practice. And it sounds like such a simple thing, but so many folks, they get into that conversation and they get so nervous. And I'm going to give you a second one really quick, is when they ask you or give you the offer, never accept on the spot. Never. Take the time to sit on the offer, make sure you get the full benefits package, and truly understand, are you getting paid equitably? And if not, revisit that conversation to negotiate.
I love that. Sit on the offer and wait. Thank you so much, Kimberly. It was wonderful meeting you, and thank you so much for such great advice. Of course, you at home can pick up Kimberly's book, Next Move, Best Move, Transitioning into a Career You Love, which is out now.